Hello, everybody. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about uh, my experience with domestic abuse. Not too chirper about it because it's hard to talk about, but I know it's a widespread problem, and people need to know that you can overcome it. Get up, you can get out of it. Um, I may do more than one broadcast on it. And I put Rona the survivor because that's what Prime Minister called me yesterday on his podcast. And I know a lot of people have survived a lot worse than I have. But I thought he called me that. I think I'm going to own it because I did. It was hard. I've been through some hard things. And like I say, I know a lot of people's been through a lot worse than me, but I, it was hard. So I'm going to be the survivor. And share because I've gotten some correspondence since then, and it has touched some people. And I'd like to start some private conversations with people with my email, ronamax1 at gmail.com. It's going across the bottom there. And I breathe so heavy because I've got asthma. So, but mine, I've been out of the marriage, of course, since for many years. And not going to say names or anything, but I lived at home until I was 25. I wasn't a freeloader. I worked since I was, I think, 18. And, um, you know, uh, I didn't believe in sleeping with a man before marriage. So uh, I saved myself. That's old fashioned now, but I still believe in that uh, for saving yourself for your future husband. But I, I gotta say, I thought I saved myself for this. I'm sorry. It was, I really tried. I tried hard. Um, he made sure that I kept working. I paid all the bills except for very few things, and I got laid off like at three different big plants around here that used to, if you get a job at any of them, you'd be there until you retired. But it was just the times had changed. My father had retired from one of them that I got a job at, so he made sure I kept a job. But anyway, I at first it was more the mental abuse because I had things I loved to do, loved past tense to do when I went into the marriage, like plants. I loved house plants, loved to watch them grow, and just different things like that. And he just beat me down mentally till I didn't even care about any of it. He made fun of it, and anything I liked he put down and isolated me. He didn't like it when I went to see my family, and that's their tactics. I worked at local police department for 25 years, and part of it was during that marriage, the last part of the marriage. And for the first 19 years, I'd see every crime report that come through the station there. And I'd see domestic abuse, and I would think to myself, darling, why don't you just leave that man? And, it finally hit me. Well, look at you. You're in a domestic abuse situation. And it got worse. It got more than just the mental cruelty and embarrassing me out in public. Oh, Lord have mercy. I believe when you get married, it's a holy commitment. I never believed in divorce. And I begged him to go to church. And he finally did. But, the preachers in these churches have let me down. And they're good, if you can find the good ones. But preacher in this church, when we were having problems, we went to the preacher for a counseling session. And he, I just unloaded all the things that he was doing. And he made promises to me. And he broke every one of them, except for one small, tiny one. So you can't believe them. They don't change. I know that for a fact. I've seen it too many times when I was working at the police department, and then from my own experience. And of course, then, excuse me, my voice is like this because I had my thyroid removed last August, and they told me it would take about a year to get my voice back. So that's why it's so rough. I would love to get my voice back. But anyway, changing the subject. But, it was, of course, beating you down mentally. And that's just huge. Even that alone is enough reason to want to get out of it. But it just kept getting worse and, making fun of you. You never felt pretty, or I don't know, just making fun of you and just, embarrassing you in public, like I said. And then he started staying out every night until 11:30. Uh, he told me he was going to a local department store. And I really didn't care because I was just glad he was gone, because it was getting close. I knew it wasn't going to be long till I just couldn't take anymore. And and I had made a plan. One of the lady dispatchers where I worked, I had asked her if I could call her at any time. Would she meet me at a certain place and help me get away? So that was my plan, and it did work. But uh, he would, it was really bad. He would come home and tell me how this older woman at a, uh, what do you call, not a gas station, but those little mini marts, would flirt with him and stuff. No man husband needs to tell his wife that. That's just very disrespectful. There was no respect for me, period. Nothing for my beliefs. The only thing he respected was my money. And he really got terrible in the bedroom. I won't go into details there, but the last time he hurt me, it was really bad. And I went to the doctor, but see, I didn't tell the doctor what had happened because it's so embarrassing. And I was so traumatized. You know, I look back and I think, if I'd have just told her what was going on and, press charges, but things happen the way they happen. You can't go back and change them. So, but if you do go to a doctor after being hurt like that, please tell them what happened. I know it's so hard. If you can. Hey, I couldn't. So, who am I to tell you that? Um, but anyway, after he hurt me the last time, it was it. Something inside of me just died. and I knew I was going to leave him. And and like I said, I never believed in divorce, but I also don't think the Lord means for the husband to treat his wife badly either. I'm a child of God. You're a child of God. You do not deserve to be treated that way. Even the mental abuse that beats you down to you don't have any of your own interests anymore, and you just live, and not it's not a nourishing relationship. When I look at people that have good marriages, and I just hope that they realize how blessed they are, because I'll never get married again. I don't trust that. I don't trust men anymore. I mean, I have friends, but I don't trust that they wouldn't change after I married them. So that's, I went to therapy and all that. I went to therapy after my divorce. But they didn't do me much good. But now this last one has done me lots of good. But this is just old wounds that are hard to talk about. But I know it's a widespread problem in the world. And I know men get abused by women too. I know that. But this is just what I experienced myself. But um, so one night, it was in March, I remember the night, I called the dispatcher, and she wasn't working, and she said yeah, she'd meet me there at this parking lot. So it was at nighttime, and it was cold winter. It had snow blowing, and I had a Camaro. They don't hold a whole bunch of stuff, so I just grabbed my clothes and some things that I thought I'd need. And I'd gotten me a little dog at the time, because I was just so needed something to love, because I was just dead inside. And I threw them all in the car and took off. And I don't know how I even got to where it wasn't cell phones back then. I had to go to a payphone. That's what I did. I went to the payphone because I wanted to get away from there first, because I knew he'd be gone till 11:30. It was the same thing every night, which was so odd. But so I went to the payphone and called her, and she agreed to meet me. That's how it worked. But I think the Lord Jesus took the wheel that night, because I went the back way on little roads, and it was snowing, hard to see, but He was helping me. And she met me there and took me to where she was at, and made me the best cup of hot chocolate I've ever had in my life. And of course, I was in bad shape, and I hid out there, and I had so much fear for a long time. But I made it. That's about all I'm gonna say about it right now. But I did make it, and I did survive. And this is many years later. I left him in '98, and I just want you to know, if you're in that type of situation, try to make you a plan. You know somebody you could trust, because any kind of abuse is not okay. It is not okay. You are a child of God. You deserve to be treated with love and respect by your husband. And nothing helped with mine going to church. Nothing. And the preacher, he let me down big time. All he cared about, I went to him up so broken after he'd hurt me the last time. I was so broken and hurt. And he just wanted me to go back to him. That's all he cared about, keeping a marriage together. That's all he cared about. He didn't care about me. So preachers can let you down. I know there's some good ones, and I hope you have a good one, but I can't trust them anymore either. I have a good relationship with God. I talk to God all the time. He never lets me down. So you can get out. It took everything in me to get out, but you can do it. And, think about it, make a plan where you'll be safe, because they do not change for the better. They get worse. Let me tell you. I know that. But, now there's a lot more resources that women can call. And, if you get a chance from your work or something, call the local police department and they'll tell you about the women's shelters, or like I said, if you've got a friend that could hook you up with somewhere to stay safe until, and get the right support you need. There is support out there to help women now. Back then, I didn't know of any, and it was scary, but I made it, and I am strong. Uh, Stronger. Everything I've overcome makes me stronger, and I'm very, very thankful. But I hope you all have a blessed day, and I am thankful to be here today to be able to talk to you. And like I say, if you need to reach out to me, just go ahead, email me, and everything will be private. Because I do believe that we're put here to help each other. And the things I've gone through, I know now that I'm meant to share them to help other people. And I think it helps me too, especially when I hear back that I have touched somebody. That's just huge. So I love you all, and I hope you have a blessed day. And we'll talk again tomorrow.